Take for instance the friendship between Mehmet and Gonzalez. Only
Gonzalez.
later on I realized that his name is Gonzalez. Awal-awal tu Gonzi macam nama Gonzi.
I like the character Gonzi though. It's like that's
Yeah.
what friends really
Layan kan dia kan.
Lah.
Bagus lah benda tu.
On selayan.
When you know the plot twist and the word layan je tu sumpah kelakar. What's good, people? Welcome back to our channel. This is Gen Y Cult YouTube channel, and you are listening to #Tonton Apa di Netflix podcast series where we review available movies in Netflix just for you. Bersama saya Jackson Lee Teabing dan rakan berdasar saya, the brother of chicken wings and drumettes, Abang Nugget.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Kita ada ni kan, guest lah ni.
Yes, episod kali ni agak special Abang Nugget. So, special guest kita hari ini, jemputan khas from the Sea of Caribbean. Kita ada saudara Blekbierd. Give it up to saudara Blekbierd.
What's up? That is me, the man with Blekbierd.
Oh, gila.
So, episod kali ini kita akan review sebuah movie daripada Turki yang bertajuk Lives ataupun original title Kağıttan Hayatlar. Alright guys, so I'm not really familiar dengan movie Turki. There's a few yang aku pernah tengok before, antaranya aku tak tahu, tapi antara yang famous aku rasa Sichin. Cerita
hantu.
Cerita hantu.
I've watched the third one. That's probably about the only one that I've watched.
Was it any good, the third one?
I mean, a lot of standards aren't the same between Hollywood movies, which we are used to, and Turkish movies. The angles that they use, the plot devices. So it was a bit weird for me lah. For someone who's grown up watching Hollywood movies, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, regarding this movie, Life, Kağıttan Hayatlar, the main highlight of the movie. This is first question I'm gonna go ahead and ask our guest today. So, Mr. Blekbierd, what do you think about the main highlights or the themes of this movie?
I think the theme is mainly the economic disparity that exists between different sections of society. When the movie started, we were shown the skyline of Turkey, or rather Istanbul, all lights and shining glory of Turkey, brought to a nightclub where the valet drives a car, convertible, into the back alleys where we are introduced to the main character Mehmet. At which point there is a sense of the meeting between the two sections of society, where this is in any country, any society. I think there is this cross section between people who are in the high society and people who live in the slums.
Correct.
So how these two cross sections of society is introduced. One guy is driving the convertible in the high class society, and Mehmet is picking up paper for a living, the low class society. So I think this theme is prevalent throughout the whole movie.
See,
And most Netflix movies nowadays, right? You can see not just on
so.
Netflix. Maybe
recent
it's quite
White Tiger,
quite recently.
right?
I mean, the issue of capitalism is hotly being debated right now, as it always has been. All this game rank stocks going up and down. How capitalism might be failing us. Well, that's completely different topic like
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
going through today.
But that's a good start though.
You mentioned just now the guy that the valet that was driving the convertibles, and aku tak puas hati tu buat tu, padahal dia valet dia buat macam kereta dia sendiri tu.
Wih, nak
Siap
naik, nak
jauh,
naik.
hey, come, let's get in the car.
Alright, what about you, brother Nugget? What do you think about the main highlight?
The main highlight of the movie, I think, is about the social struggle of the low classes. Okay, like Blekbierd said before, economic disparity that prevalence within capitalism throughout the world. Kan, kita bukan nak cerita pasal communism versus capitalism or socialism, tak. Tapi itu yang kita biasa tengok dalam most of the movies recently. And to some extent ada isu pasal ni, mental health.
Yes.
Mental health, abandonment, family issues. Yelah, itu isu-isu yang nampak lah the main theme of the movies.
Yes. Yeah.
I think itu satu benda yang should kita patut tengok lebih banyak dalam movie supaya kita nampak isu-isu tu dalam society
Raise
nowadays.
the awareness, is it?
Raise the awareness and put the spotlight on that issues.
Yeah, I agree. But for me lah, I think my take on the main highlight or the theme of the movie is a bit different. I agree with what Blekbierd said just now and what you said just now about Nugget. But what I found from this movie lah, I think the main highlight for me was about the love ataupun macam mana, how do I put it, kasih seorang anak terhadap seorang ibu yang walaupun dia tak kenal sangat ibu dia sanggup buat apa saja untuk dapatkan balik kasih sayang seorang ibu. Like ada movie selalu kita tengok orang akan cakap the love of the parents to the children, but in this movie is vice versa. Aku nampak dia lebih kurang macam tu lah. So the main character tu something dia ada that kind of apa orang kata benda yang dia nak sampaikan. Seorang it's a boy yang mendambakan dia dahagakan kasih sayang daripada the parents.
Mendambakan dan dahagakan. Mata jangka biar putih tulang.
Jangan.
Ni soalan nak tanya ni. Siapa pilih cerita ni?
Aku.
Jackson Lee Teabing. Kenapa nak pilih cerita ni?
Because random. And it's new.
Suggest me something.
It's random and it's new. It's latest.
Tapi refreshing juga
kan.
I find it a bit refreshing kat masa aku tengok. Totally unexpected. Aku macam
Kan, that's another question.
Yeah, I mean, without going into the plot, how I mean the twist, you know, when did you discover
there's
the
twist? Macam mana korang punya opinion? Expected ke tak?
Unexpected for me.
It was for me. The point of discovery was when the glue sniffing kids though. I think that's when everyone also come to the realization. Oh, okay, you know, going back to the scene where he was in his house and he was looking at the picture. The audience were not shown what was the picture that he was looking at, kan? So kita macam left wondering there's something going on that it doesn't appear to be what it actually is, because the movie is telling you that they're hiding something from you, essentially. But
I mean, like we can see it's not very subtle. Dia bukannya sorok sangat. We know there's something wrong already from the first few part, but aku just don't know what is wrong until the revelation of the plot twist. So
the prestige.
The prestige.
Getting on to the next question, the setting and the background of the movie. What do you think? Can you explain or elaborate more about the setting and the background of the movie Blekbierd?
Well, as I've mentioned, because my view is mostly on the economic disparity between these two cross sections of society. So we are introduced to the slums, and how people in the slums live their life. Now, I mean, this is reality for a lot of people in the world. I think the majority make up this cross section of society, but we're shown how they continue to live their lives despite the fact that they have been how do you say, disadvantaged. So contohnya macam they try to make the best of it lah. And I think this goes to how the movie is portrayed. I think this one we will discuss it later on in terms of the cinematography. Just want to touch lightly on it, where the use of the color palettes in the movie, how when one scene is a gloomy scene and one scene is one that depicts happiness, how the color changes. But in terms of the settings and the background, I mean, it's modern times, but you don't see anyone using phones in our from our characters.
Mm-hmm. There's a few, I think, where they use phone.
Ada.
But
Masa mula-mula dia breakfast tu je.
very minimal. They don't focus really. They don't really focus on that.
Yes, they focus more on the relationships between people, because I suppose when you're left with nothing, all that you have are the relationships that you have between people. Take for instance the friendship between Mehmet and Gonzalez. Only
Gonzalez.
later on I realized that his name is Gonzalez. Awal-awal tu Gonzi macam nama Gonzi.
I like the character Gonzi though. It's like that's what friends really.
Layan je kan. Bagus lah benda tu.
On selayan.
When you know the plot twist and the word layan je tu sumpah kelakar. Anyway, just want to add about the setting, background. Do you guys? I think it's not very subtle, but you guys notice the name of the alley is a translation to struggle
alley.
Struggle alley.
Yeah.
I think it adds charms to it.
Wiley, kau rasa tu funny
Tak, aku rasa dia macam dia tak subtle
ironic
lah. Dia tak subtle, tapi dia macam in a way dia macam ada sentuhan lebih sikit kat atas movie tu. Macam ada
dia nak
add charms to it. That's all I can say. I'm not really sure how to explain.
Yeah, aku nampak dia macam nak add mood yang dark lah dalam cerita tu. Macam yelah, macam tu lah, tapi ironic jugalah.
Jarang kan kita tengok movie about trash picking. Ada je somewhere, movie ni dia somewhere between Slumdog of Millionaire dengan movie yang
Slumdog Millionaire, betul?
Dengan movie yang ada melodrama, sebab dia tak fokus atas genre punya problem. Dia ada genre punya problem and then dia bawa kepada personal punya problem macam tu.
Do you remember Requiem for a Dream?
Soundtrack dia best of cerita kan?
It sort of gives the same feeling, tapi ni ada sense of that false happiness lah.
Okay, what about we touched a bit about the plot just now, but the plot, just to elaborate a little bit more on the plot, Mr. Blekbierd.
Aku rasa, I mean, in terms of plot, it's not really complex. It's not really a complex kind of plot line, except for having the plot twist. But apart from that, it's more focusing on the relationship. But what I can say is dia macam it's a video to how do you say? It's a travel video for Turkey. So you're showing the beautiful parts of Turkey. Yeah. Apart from that, there's not much in terms of the controversy. It's the controversy between the relationships between the characters. Tapi yeah, I mean it's not really a complex storyline to follow, you know what I mean?
So it's more like straightforward. You have introduction, development, conflict, and then it's climax, and then dia punya outro lah kan, dia punya ending.
Yes.
It's easy to follow. It's just that it has a plot twist. I mean, plot twist is not
Yes.
it's not really something yang orang kata benda yang rare sekarang. Banyak lah movie plot twist power kan. But still dalam movie ni plot twist dia tu some maybe boleh teka lah aku rasa kan. But for me it still works lah plot twist dia.
It works. Okay lah, nak tanya opinion korang lah. So far dalam movies yang korang pernah tengok, plot twist mana yang paling cross lah, paling twisted sikit lah korang rasa? Kira kalau in terms of plot twist it's a 10. What's your 10 in terms of plot twist? Blekbierd.
Tahu lah, aku you put me on the spot like that, aku rasa macam it's difficult to bring something to mind kan. Macam I mean you could say that a lot of things you can see it coming kan, based on your own experiences. Macam you know, I'm like, this is gonna happen. This that you're not too sure, you know.
List lah.
Yeah, can't really.
Maybe a 3 list movie with a plot twist yang kau rasa macam
okay, I wouldn't say plot twist, but like this is something like Life of Pi, where you don't know if the tiger is real or not, or if it's a manifestation of what's his name, Pi's character, Pi's mind. So things like that, like when you're left guessing, for me that is considered a good plot twist, because you don't know until the end. It wasn't resolved anyway.
Yeah.
Inception was a good plot twist where you're not sure where the world that Cobb is currently living in is
the reality
the part of his dream, or his reality, and
Mm.
ended with the spinning totem without knowing whether it actually continued to spin or whether it fell. So I like this kind of movies that keep you guessing and give an open interpretation. They don't feed the answers to you. You know, you think for yourself. Joker was pretty good, in a sense where the relationship between Arthur and, sorry, what's the lady's name? The neighbor.
This is a Joaquin Phoenix Joker, right?
Yes.
Alamak,
I can't recall. I can't recall, but the
yeah,
neighbor
so
lah.
anyway, yeah, the point is the twist is that he and the neighbor didn't really have a relationship, so you're left wondering how much of the whole story was in his mind,
It's true.
because you have to remember he is suffering from mental illnesses. So if he made that part up, and this movie, the way I see it, is narrated from his point of view, right? So if he made the part up about him and his neighbor, how much of the rest of it was also made up? Like being the king of anarchy, you know, being a figure of anarchy. But how from zero to being that? So yeah, this kind of. I mean, if you're asking for my top 3, the ones that come to mind are these lah.
Okay, and how does that compare to this movie?
I mean, it's pretty up there also. I mean, I said that the point of realization for me was quite later on when he stumbled upon the glue sniffing kids, right? The street kids. So that was probably about 70% throughout the movie, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was, but I would say quite a good plot twist.
Lee, mana muli?
Aku rasa kalau nak ada satu movie, you're asking about cerita yang paling plot twist yang paling gempak lah, basically kan.
Yeah, lebih kurang lah.
Aku serius lah. I've been trying to look for this movie lama dah. Movie ni aku tengok dekat aku rasa Hit TV kot. It's a Chinese movie. I think it's called something like
Gado-Gado King.
bukan Judy King. Oh, Judy King is
Crouching
another.
Tiger.
Judy King is another story. That's kita kena buat satu podcast. Tajuk podcast tu the best movie ever. Judy King.
Blekbierd dah tengok Judy King?
Belum.
Kalau kau tengok,
So Jackson Lee recommend.
kau akan marah for 30 minutes and then kau akan bersyukur for the rest of your life.
Sounds like a good movie. I'll check it out.
It's on YouTube.
Okay. Back to the question again.
Back to the question.
What's the Chinese movie?
It's a
What's the Chinese movie's name?
I think the name is something around something like what do you call a doctor that that treat mental illness, people with mental illness?
Shrink.
Psychiatrist.
It's something psychiatrist or something psychological. Something. That's the problem because I never really get the title. I cannot find it anymore. It's a Chinese movie, but that movie has the most fucked up plot twist I ever encountered lah. But I can't remember. But if you're asking to compare this plain Pepper Life movie with the other movie, with such great plot twist, it's different because Pepper Life ni I'm not really expecting about the plot twist. Dalam plot twist dia tu, they carry the emotions, they carry dia punya drama. So I enjoy that throughout the whole story. So regardless what the plot twist, aku still boleh bawa. Dia tak macam tak macam ada satu cerita Ethan Hawke berlakon ni. Konon cerita ni plot twist yang power gila lah. Do you remember?
Okay, aku tahu.
What was it called?
Some weird name.
Is a weird name. Dia kononnya macam
where Ethan Hawke is Jodie Foster, who is also young Jodie Foster.
Basically, Ethan Hawke is the guy, is the father, is the mother, is the daughter.
Spoiler alert. Very heavy spoilers.
Is a spoiler for another movie, so it doesn't matter. But it's a shitty movie for me lah.
It's a shitty spoiler.
Predetermination.
Yes, predetermination. So compared to that, aku lagi enjoy playing Pepper Life punya movie lah. Predetermination tu try hard sangat lah bagi aku.
So aku ada soalan both to Mr. Nugget, Sir Nugget and Sir Teabing. Knowing the plot, would it prevent you from enjoying the movie?
Sure
You know
enough.
what I mean? If I mean, macam sekarang ni kan banyak movies they use the same themes, use the same concepts, use the same plot lines. But should that prevent you from enjoying the movie?
For the first time, yes, maybe. It's like watching a football match with the score, with you knowing the score tu susah, tak best lah. Dia macam dia macam.
Tapi kalau game tu best, banyak gila try yang cantik, lepas tu gol dia cantik. Do you still enjoy the match?
Yalah, itulah. For the first time, maybe yes. Sebab kita mula-mula tengok movie ni kita jarang lah. Bagi aku lah, kalau betul-betul nak kita analyse a movie for the first time tu lebih kepada kita layan je cerita tu. So, kalau kita tengok lagi sekali ke apa ke, maybe kita boleh analyse other parts of the movie yang kita rasa kita boleh analyse kan. Tapi untuk for the first time, benda tu akan affect aku punya enjoyment lah. That's for me. I don't know about Jackson Lee.
For me, depends on the movie. Macam Pepper Life ni, I think if I already know the plot twist pun, I still enjoy the movie. Tapi kalau kau bagi cerita unknown, kau bagi plot twist cerita unknown,
ada history
and then macam baik tak payah tengok
Tapi aku rasa bagi aku knowing the plot also, aku akan still enjoy the movie because essentially macam mana?
This movie or any movie in general?
A movie in general, any movie in general. Sebabnya everyone goes through different experiences.
Betul.
Contohnya aku dengan Jackson may be housemates, we may work at the same place, but how we perceive things are different. So me watching 10 movies with more or less the same plot, aku rasa I wouldn't mind it, because I mean, in a way, when you start thinking critically about the movie, takes the fun out of it lah, for me,
Betul.
you know. And when you think too seriously about it, I mean, there is a fun in that also, macam discovering what are the hidden messages in the movie, semua, what the directors or the movie makers are trying to tell you. But it's also fun just switching off and watching it. So
Yes.
message to you kids out there, be dumb. Live longer.
Dia jadi macam Gonzi, layan je.
Betul.
Layan je.
Betul.
First time tu
That's me,
layan
that's
je.
me.
We done on the plot lah, right? Basically, it's a long explanation on the plot. Okay, Blekbierd did touch a little bit on the cinematography just now, but yeah, I would like to hear from Abang Nugget punya point of view in terms of the cinematography of the movie. If you can, add in your opinion on this.
In my honest opinion lah, dia tak ada outstanding sangat pun cinematography dia. Sebab kita dah biasa tengok cerita yang cinematography yang best kan. Contoh from Hollywood movies lah kan. In Hollywood movies. Tapi untuk cerita ni okey lah. Tak rasa, aku pernah tengok cerita Turki series, tapi tu compare dengan series tak fair aku rasa. Sebab series tak banyak cerita, tak banyak put emphasis on cinematography kan. Tapi kalau compare to that Turkish series, yang ini way better lah. Boleh kata cerita ni cerita yang catered for Hollywood or international audience lah cerita ni.
Yeah, correct.
Agree.
Was it made for Netflix? Made by Netflix?
I think.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know what I'm saying.
I think it's a Netflix.
I don't think so. Aku rasa, yeah, is it?
It's a Netflix production, I think.
Then they must have the international community in mind kan, when they make this sort of movies. What about you, Mr. Lee?
Yeah.
Any comments on the cinematography with your extensive knowledge?
Tak ada extensive knowledge. To be honest lah, cinematography more Abang Nugget punya area. Sebabnya member is a huge fan of Taika Waititi. So Mehmet tu memang cinematography nombor 1 lah, Taika Waititi. So Abang Nugget should know better. But from my opinion, cerita ni punya cinematography, I think not in terms of camera angle, not so much. Tapi in terms of, maybe the post-production lah. Like Blekbierd mentioned just now, the color gradient that affect the moods.
Yes.
Yang tu ada mainkan peranan dalam cerita. So that's...
Macam the colors, purple, blue, used to signify, gloominess, sadness.
Yes.
And then when he's out and about with Ali, right, it turns this sepia tone, like eternal summer kind of
macam La Vita Bella kan, Life is Beautiful. Tengok tak?
Yes.
Tak tahu lah, maybe sebab lighting Mediterranean macam tu kot. I don't know.
One more thing, I think about the best. I'm not sure, but Turkey ni dia macam best sikit because kau tengok dia punya macam mana setting, dia punya scenery dia tu, dia ada European, lepas tu dia ada Asian. Macam on certain part kau nampak macam this is very Asian Arabic punya style sikit. On certain part macam back alley dia tu macam dekat London aku tengok. Dia punya
macam France dah.
Kan?
Macam France pun ada. Dia I think it's because of the cultural kan. Because Turkey kan before this memang center between European and Asian kan. Alright, what about the casting part? I mean the character.
You mean Post Malone acting as Mehmet?
Post Malone.
Aduh. Yelah. Post Malone without the tattoos.
Wait. Have you guys watched Vikings?
2-3 episodes only.
Yes, same.
Okay, you know Ragnar. So this guy he's a cross between Post Malone and Ragnar for me.
Yeah.
Gives off that vibe.
Alah, bodohnya Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Asyik baik dia tak rap tiba-tiba kan. So, what about the other supporting characters? Do you find it functional? I mean, like, their acting, is it good?
Character-wise, I think they did a good job on the cast. Because essentially the characters of the movie are four. You know? Mehmet, Ali, Gonzi, and Uncle Tassin. So these guys, they maintain a balance between each other. On the one side, the easiest one to spot is Uncle Tassin. Am I getting his name right? Uncle Tassin kan?
Tassin Baba.
Tassim Baba.
Tassin Baba. Okay, so Uncle Tassin is the the stone, the pillar. You know? He's the one presumably who raised Mehmet, who raised Gonzalez. Whereas Gonzalez is the free spirit. You know, he's running about here and there, doing what he likes, going begging at people's weddings. You know, he does what he wants. Picks up cigars. On the other hand, Mehmet is a sort of in between both. You know, he has that free spirit, but at the same time, he has that sturdiness
From
that he probably picked up from Uncle Tassin.
yeah.
You can see this from scenes where he's taking care of all these children, giving pastries. He knows everyone on his block or his side of town. Even the cake people, he goes to the back room to get a cake, which is underpriced. So I think these three characters are central in determining what Ali is. But Ali is a pigment of Mehmet's imagination, or a side effect of his sickness kan. Dia jadi macam the relationships between these three people is defined by Ali. Macam Ali is how Mehmet was, kan? Is Mehmet's past. So as Ali is going on and about in his daily life, kita tengok macam, this is actually how Mehmet wants to be treated. So it makes you think, what was he actually treated? What was the actual truth of the matter? It's actually the converse. Sebab apa yang Mehmet bagi kepada Ali is benda yang Mehmet tak pernah dapat.
Yes, correct.
Kan?
That's right.
There's part of his childhood yang dia tak pernah experience. Betul.
Yes, and that is what I think. When you mention the theme of abandonment, semua itu plays a role here, kan? And when you're talking about issues of abandonment, I mean, I'm not a psychologist ke apa, tapi you feel like you want something to rely on.
Betul.
And this is why I say the issue of relationships between all these people are very important, because from the point of view of Mehmet, you have Gonzalez, who's keeping it fun for you, to go through this daily struggle of being on struggle alley, and Uncle Tassin, who is the clear head, the clear voice, who's telling you, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, this is what you should be doing, have you saved enough money for your kidney transplant? So I think in terms of the characters and the casting, job well done lah.
Job well done.
Job well done, yeah.
Actors dia pun semua okay lah berlakon.
Yes, that's the best part. Aku rasa everyone
tak kekok kan.
Yeah, tak ada yang kayu lah. Tak ada yang kayu. Even yang
selalu kita tengok budak dia berlakon, dia macam inexperienced dan dia rasa goyang, nampak kayu sikit kan. Tapi budak ni okay lah, not bad.
Betul, aku rasa budak tu power.
Aku rasa budak yang power cerita ni tu, apa nama? News of the World. Budak tu power.
Tom Hanks. Yes.
News of the World yang mana?
Tom Hanks latest movie pasal dia read the news
From town
throughout
to town.
from town to town.
Oh, belum tengok lagi. Power.
Oh, budak tu menang award dekat Germany. Best actress against two other actress yang adult. Dia menang. Dan dalam cerita
Netflix
tu pun dia
ada?
okay. Ada? Memang Netflix punya production.
I mean, we should be talking about things that are on Netflix because, you know, hashtag tonton apa di Netflix kan.
Ya, ada. Kalau compare dengan budak tu pun kira not bad lah budak ni. Budak Ali ni. Selalu kan budak macam tak tahu sebab kita tak we don't know the language that properly kan.
Yeah.
Maybe budak tu baca berita ke kita tak tahu kan. Tapi
I know what you mean. Macam tone semua kan. Kita tak tahu kan because we don't speak language.
Selalu macam budak kalau dia baca skrip dia akan macam baca berita kan. So yang ini nampak tolak language aside nampak okay lah.
Acting tu hidup
What about you? Jackson Lee.
Jackson Lee.
The casting bagi aku macam Blekbierd cakap, they did a good job sebab bagi aku as long as semua karakter tu nampak menjiwai watak, itu je bagi aku. I don't like movies with yang dia tak pay attention dekat side character. Itu akan like most, bukan aku nak aku jatuhkan martabat movie Malaysia, tapi most of local movies dia orang tak invest on supporting characters or supporting actors. Aku rasa macam
Bajet habis
ke whatever lah. Aku tak tahu ada leaking kan, Malaysian being Malaysian kan. sub last yang daripada bajet RM1 dapat RM500,000 kan.
500,000 cukup cantik lah, dapat 200 je.
That's all for me lah. I think they did a good job because semua karakter tu lively
Tapi aku rasa sayang in a way where you have the main characters, Mehmet and Ali, you have the supporting characters, Uncle Tassin and Gonzi, and you have the extras who are the workers. The transsexual couple, people living on the street. So we weren't introduced to all these people kan.
Yes.
We can guess their background kan. Macam most of them are people who have been abandoned, who are living on the street semua. But I think it's quite a shame that they didn't expand more, I think.
Yeah. The movie also...
Because Mehmet is obviously... Sorry, go ahead.
Just want to add, the movie also is not that long. 1 hour and...
1 hour plus,
1 hour plus. So if they did like another background story on other characters, mungkin boleh tambahkan, bagi panjang sikit kan.
Rasa elaboration on other characters pun masa Uncle Tassin confront
Mehmet.
Cakap, so mothers supposed to love their children kan. So mana mothers budak-budak ni? So kita boleh assume yang itu je lah, yang diorang ni pun abandoned and motherless, orphan children yang under the wings of Uncle Tassim and Mehmet.
Tu aku rasa you made a good point wherein they explain the background of these characters very simply, which is all of these kids have the same experience as you.
Yes.
Going through the same thing that you went through. It's just that because I feel that Mehmet was in a way taking care of all these people kan. In a way putting them under his wing. So I would have liked to see more of the relationship between Mehmet and all these extras lah.
Betul.
The only thing that we get is a glimpse of into their life is when Mehmet was looking for Ali, bust open the room, and then you see like 12 guys sitting in the same room kan. Macam what the hell is going on kan.
Social distance tak payah.
Just now you mentioned about the gay couple and then other characters apa semua kan. I enjoy all those extra points lah for me inside a movie. But tapi itulah aku perasan lah, it's like Netflix is keep doing this in all
pushing the agenda.
Macam subtly macam using berguna macam example ataupun elemen-elemen LGBT, elemen not believing God. Ada satu scene tu macam budak tu Mehmet bagi duit dekat budak tu. Mehmet cakap, kalau aku bagi duit ni, you just gonna go and buy glue kan, to isap gam. Lepas tu budak tu kata, no, I swear to God kan. Lepas tu dia kata, don't swear to God, God has punished you enough. Macam benda macam ni selalulah keluar dalam Netflix punya movie, and then it's trying to make very subtle, and they're trying to macam normalize this. That part aku tak setuju sangat-sangat lah. I mean, is that how Turkey really is?
Turkey, aku rasa based on apa yang kita baca dan dengar ataupun tengok dalam cerita ke, dalam dokumentari ke, the Istanbul side memang tak religious sangat tau. Walaupun dia punya negara pun on paper bukannya Muslim country kan. Muslim country.
Secular ya. Secular.
So aku tak rasa dia orang kisah sangat pun. I don't know.
If it's not in this movie, in other movie, aku rasa ialah something that, or maybe this is just a Malaysian thing for me. I'm not sure, but I keep saying things yang I think Netflix is trying to normalize people with. In a way, macam try to mind conditioning people lah. I'm just gonna stop there. I'm not gonna go and elaborate further, or else we're gonna go into another conspiracy things which I don't want to go there. Okay, so that's it. I think about the casting and characters and everything. This movie kan, korang rasa ada tak macam soundtrack yang best? Yang
aku rasa, sorry, just to interject, because I think this scene I quite liked it. It set the mood for the whole movie, which is when Mehmet was picked up by Uncle Tassin and they were on the way back to send Mehmet back. And I mean, I don't know Turkish songs. I can't read the lyrics for you. But that scene in the car when they are singing along to that song, I think that one sets the tone for the movie kan.
Yes. Even the
so,
lyrics.
If you're talking about soundtrack, I mean, it wasn't distracting, but if one were to come to mind, that's the one for me.
For me, it's the dinner party, the birthday party.
Yes, that's another one.
Then some opera,
the lady singing.
The lady singing opera style kan. Nampak cheesy lah, tapi lagu tu impactful lah. Sebab just after budak tu cakap dia nak mati sebab dia takut mak dia tak recognize dia sebab mak dia mati masa budak kan.
That's a memorable scene. Sedih. It's a tearjerker part lah.
Lepas tu perempuan tu janji kat sebelah tu kan.
Dia macam tahu
lagu sedih, lepas tu semua orang sedih. Aku tengok Mehmet tengok perempuan tu, aku ingat Mehmet nak marah tau. Nak balik kek, oi diam lah. Itu lah. Rupanya dia pun layan dan sedih.
Tapi I think maybe it's a cultural thing lah. Sebab aku rasa lagu tu very, orang kata, give impact dekat kau punya, kalau kau dengar pun, kalau kau betul ada macam, because I'm watching this with my wife. My wife punya perspektif dia macam nak tergelak part tu. Aku tengah
tahan yang perempuan nyanyi tu.
Perempuan nyanyi tu dia macam nak tergelak. Aku macam tengah nak tahan air mata lah tak.
Yelah, depends on how you see it lah.
Yeah.
Aku mula rasa nak tergelak kan. Kan mula bila budak tu dia macam sandar, lepas tu dia tengok perempuan tu kan. Aku ingat dia nak marah perempuan tu, macam ada add certain aspect of comedy lah. Rupanya tak ada. Aku je bayangkan.
Anyway, soundtrack aku rasa for this movie in particular, aku rasa bagus juga. They did a good job juga. Another part yang masa dia morning stroll, and then ada lagu hip hop in Turkey tu. Mama itu macam shaggy, macam bukan shaggy, macam Sean Paul punya style, macam siapa? Yeah. Apa nama yang botak rap tu, Pitbull lah, macam Pitbull punya style bagi aku.
Pitbull lah.
The thing is, I cannot find the title of all the soundtrack inside the movie. It's not listed. I would like to get my hands on those.
On the rap song or the opera woman singing?
On all Opera Woman, lagu dalam taxi, rap song, because I think the soundtrack is very good for the movie. Maybe it's because I'm not really familiar with the culture and all. But for me, first time listening it and also experiencing it with the visual, aku rasa macam impactful lah. So I would like to add that to my playlist lah.
Wake up song. Getting ready for work music.
Yeah.
And when you're down, pasang lagu opera. Itu cik kena maki dengan bini kat rumah.
Gaduh pasal lagu.
Gaduh pasal lagu. Dia bebel kita pasang lagu tu. Tak penyudah. So what else are the memorable scene yang came to your mind? It doesn't need to be with the soundtrack, just memorable scene or memorable dialogue that you guys can remember or worth to mention.
For me, there was two. One was the less obvious one, which is when Mehmet and Ali were eating on the rooftop.
Yes.
Okay. Why that scene was memorable for me is because what was on the billboard, if you guys remember?
I don't know, some city scenery.
It was a shining metropolis, something that these guys they did not have, or rather Mehmet did not have lah. It represents, I think, his hopes and dreams, what he wants, tapi he can't achieve. So what he has is this false facade, sitting in front of the billboard. You're not actually in the billboard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this goes back to what I think is the theme of the whole movie, which is the economic disparity and that struggle, where sometimes even us, kita struggle macam mana pun, we can't reach to the point where in our mind we are hoping to reach. So that's the best that he could do in those kind of circumstances. So I think that scene for me was quite memorable. And the other one would be the last scene where, if I may say, spoiler alert, where Mehmet dies, kan? When he comes to the realization that, oh shit, Ali isn't real, Ali is me. The breakdown of the human aspect of it lah, macam the breakdown kan, macam you tahan and you can't tahan anymore. So this scene, why I find it memorable is because it goes back to the first scene, where, I mean, among the first few scenes where we were introduced to the fact that Mehmet had kidney punya problem semua. And then he tells, I can't remember if it's Gonzi or Uncle Tassin, but he tells him, I can't take this anymore. So when you say I can't take this anymore, what was he referring to? Was it referring to the fact that he can't take his illness anymore, dia tak tahan dengan sakit? Or was it the fact that he can't take this life anymore? Right? And at the end of it, it relates back to the whole thing. He's so heartbroken, his character is breaking down, and the word struggle Ali is highlighted. The signage, he's walking through there, he is the characterization of the struggle. And then he dies, meaning he gave up, he couldn't struggle anymore, which I think was quite impactful for me.
Personally,
heavy kan sebenarnya cerita ni.
heavy cerita ni.
Sebab, okay, I just want to put a point here kan. I actually, when you suggested this movie, I told my wife, maybe we should watch this together kan, just have something to do. And she asked me, what is it about? And I said, one of those bittersweet movies, macam Pursuit of Happiness. So towards the end of the movie, she looked at me, hey, this is not bittersweet, it's just bitter. Just wanted to say that.
Yalah.
I mean, at the first view, first glance, first glimpse of the movie, you just notice the melodrama, you just notice the struggle and everything. But after after what we discussed, aku rasa macam movie ni sebenarnya heavy. Dia berisi lah. Dia pakai cincin ada batu lah.
Ada isim.
Aduh.
Dia berisi lah. Bagi aku dia macam dia punya maybe writer or the director, the setiap scene, setiap ayat tu dia cuba untuk masukkan deeper punya meaning into it.
Dia macam there are a lot of work in every scene tau. Macam bukan buat simply macam tu je kan. Cerita ni cerita yang cerita yang heavy, cerita yang yalah nampak effort dia orang kan. Sukalah.
Aku suka.
Despite being a Turkey movie, I mean, I'm not trying to down Turkey movies. It's just that I didn't expect this lah.
But to be honest lah, I think from a lot of other people, they are saying that Turkey punya filem semua banyak juga sebenarnya yang bagus. Banyak yang bagus, banyak yang best. This is that me myself, I'm not really exposed to it. So this is a eye opener.
Macam aku duduk bawah tempurung.
Tapi kalau compare yang cerita lain tu dengan cinematography yang ini way better lah. Kan? Yang lain tu dia biasa-biasa je lah. Boleh lah.
So what about you guys? Any memorable scenes?
For me, I think Brother Nugget just now already explained, give a breakdown on the scene a little bit. Tapi you know the opera part, so the boy was telling that he wants to die right now when he's still a child, so that the mother can remember her face. And my focus was on Gonzi, sebab Gonzi never knew them parents kan. So lagi dia punya situation lagi suck daripada budak tu. At least budak tu mak dia kenal muka dia masa dia kecil. Gonzi dalam sebab mak dia tak kenal pun mak dia tak kenal pun muka dia masa kecil ke masa dia besar ke macam mana kan. But he was left masa dia kecil. Jadi dalam hidup pun dia tak akan dapat bersama dengan mak dia. Dan kalau dia ikut konteks budak tu punya pemikiran, dia mati pun dia tak dapat bersama dengan mak dia. So he left. Aku rasa macam oh shit, heavy section Gonzi masa tu.
Tapi Gonzi still letak tattoo parent dia dekat dia punya badan.
Aku baru nak bring up that point. Sebenarnya Gonzi
optimist kan?
Apa nama? Optimist. Sebab dia punya situation suck gila. But he makes it sound very light. You know?
Macam Brother Nugget cakap.
Sebenarnya aku suka.
Macam Brother Nugget cakap layan.
Aku suka the character dia.
Yes. Gonzi is also an embodiment of the main highlight that I was trying to mention earlier during the first during the starting of the video. Gonzi tu macam is a symbol of the love of a child towards their parents. Dia tak kisah, dia tak kenal pun, dia tak merasa pun kasih sayang parents dia, tapi dia still sayang parent dia tu. Which is something that very rare we see in other movies. Selalunya is the love of the parents to the child, to the children, their children. All I know, I would say that this is really refreshing lah. So, macam something new, something yang jarang-jarang kita jumpa lah. And also dia bawa aku luar daripada konteks movie-movie
comfort zone.
Bukan comfort zone lah. Macam selalu kita duk tengok movie, okay, biasa dengan this kind of movie, biasa dengan this kind of movie. Sekali tengok movie foreign macam ni kan, dengan dia punya language lagi, culture dia lagi, dengan dia punya themes yang lain daripada yang lain. Aku suka lah, I appreciate this movie. And bagi aku something macam refresh lah, reset aku punya, aku punya mind lah. So, final verdict. I'm gonna ask our guest first, Mr. Blekbierd. Your ratings out of 10. Out of 10, berapa kau bagi?
I would give it a strong 8.
Strong 8. And your justification basically semua yang kita discuss tadi lah.
Yep. A lot of hidden not to say hidden, it wasn't very subtle, but kalau kau kupas lagi kan, macam sebenarnya movie ni sakit lah kan. Macam kau cakap tadi lah, dia berisi kan.
Okay. Brother Nugget?
7
7
sebab kalau 7 lah. Dia cerita ni dia banyak isu, banyak tengok macam mana orang yang dalam keadaan yang susah, dalam keadaan yang tak boleh happy pun, okay, macam tak happy lah, tapi they enjoy their life in their own way tau. Lepas tu nampak ada positive vibe lah kat dalam cerita ni. Walaupun cerita ni setting dia macam mood dia agak gloomy and dark sikit, especially bila part yang dah plot twist dah tunjuk kan. Dah cerita ni okey lah, aku suka. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Me myself, it's somewhere between 7.8 to 8 lah. Tapi I'm more towards 8 lah. Sebab yang buat aku rasa dia tak dapat 8 tu bukan sebab apa. Sebab dia punya rushing tu, the ending tu, dia ada satu moment yang kau rasa macam apa benda ni. Tapi sebenarnya bila kau fikir balik macam okey lah. Dia ada satu period, satu gap dalam movie, bukan gap, satu kawasan lah, macam satu take from the movie yang kau akan start rasa apa benda ni kau tak faham. Starting dia aku tak faham kenapa dia ni emotional sangat.
Yes, aku nampak macam dia ni overacting
kan. Mula-mula tu. Bila ending dia baru kita tahu kenapa kan. So maybe is there a way yang dia orang boleh susun, maybe it could be better lah. But for me it's still a good movie. More to 7.8 to 8 lah bagi aku. Nice lah. Sebab because it's refreshing. So aku suka lah.
Betul.
Alright, I think man, this is among one of the longest video juga lah kan. Anyway, we are towards the ending already. So for those, as usual, for those who are still with us and still listening to us, we appreciate your time, and also thank you so much for listening. If you like what we do, if you like our podcast, just hit the like button or hit the subscribe button, the bell button, the bell button for notification. We would really appreciate if you guys can share this video around, with your friend, your family. Anything else you want to add in here, Brother Nugget?
And if you are still listening up to this point, we thank you very much, because it takes a lot of commitment to listen to 3 people talking for 45 to 50 minutes, and we appreciate your support very, very much. And if you like Jason Lee said, if you like what we do, and please click the like button.
Yes,
thank you very much. And thank you to Brother Blekbierd.
Thanks for having me here.
Brother Blekbierd,
for giving us a very, very informative insights on the movie.
Yes.
And but we like your point of view.
Yes,
it's very good. It's very refreshing.
Brother Nugget, Mr. Blekbierd, before we end, is there anything else you want to add?
If you guys have any other good movie recommendations, we'll always be happy to check them out.
Yes.
I suppose Mr. Jackson Lee will include the links to the movies that we mentioned today. It's got a few.
I'll try.
And thank you very much for having me here today, and thank you to the audience for listening to us.
Alright.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Sekali lagi, thanks a lot to my friends. To my friend Mr. Blekbierd for joining us today, and I think that's about it. Until next time, guys, see you again. Bye bye.